You said you're semi-liberal, but also traditional.
Me?
You guys answered that
Traditional?
together, though, so I don't know who that...
Like cook and clean traditional, you mean? Like for a woman to
Well,
do
do you...
that?
Okay, I'll ask you both individually. Do you consider yourself a traditional woman?
No.
Sophia, what about you?
No.
You said semi-liberal, also traditional. Perhaps
But-
maybe traditional in some
but-
ways, but...
I have my like values. Like I still like feel the way I feel about certain. I still feel the way I feel about certain things. Like
Like what?
I don't know. I guess how I grew up. I was taught a certain way, and as I grew older, I was, I guess, introduced. But like I learned different ways to look at things, so I'm very open-minded. That's
Okay.
why I can't really specify, like pick one thing.
Yeah, I think personally, like when I am in relationships, I like just automatically take on kind of like the caregiver kind of thing. Like when I really love someone and care for someone, I want to like do that kind of stuff for them. But I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm gonna stay home all day. And I have nothing against women who do that. I think it's amazing. I think, but I personally, I just wouldn't, I still want to work. I still want to, but I would also still want to take care
Sure.
of the person that I'm with.
Okay. You guys also wrote here, you wanted to talk about dating bums and brokies that live off of you. Maybe you guys have some stories there. But you also said we don't think a man should be a
Hobosexual.
provider fully. We like to go half and half. And then you also said, I think men lie too much about money nowadays. I don't know which one of you that was, but anything there?
Yeah, so I don't know about Sophia. I've personally dated men who made a lot less money than me and who I had to not financially support, but paid for all the dates and stuff. I don't think just because of that I shouldn't be with someone. But I also do really, really like when guys, pay for dates and make effort
Yeah.
to go out of the way to like do stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I met this guy. At the time, he wasn't, I guess, broke or unemployed, but he ended up getting unemployed, and I basically held him down, and he was unemployed for like a couple months, and he had like some issues too, and he broke his phone, and I gave him my second one, and he lived rent-free in my apartment, and I started paying everything, and it got to the point where like I felt like I was, I guess in a way, the man in the relationship. Like providing for him, and that's not for me. I like to be taken care of. I feel like there's things that I do for him, for the man that like I'm very nurturing. I feel like I'll be emotionally supportive and comforting, and I feel like I want to be financially taken care of too.
Yeah, it has to be a good balance of both.
You're 21, right? You're 21, right?
Yes.
The one you said you were in a 1-year relationship.
Yes.
How old was he?
He was 2 years older than me, so now he's 23.
And I mean, you
at the
do
time.
OnlyFans and stuff, and I know a lot of women on OnlyFans can be, very successful, make a lot of money. Do you think men within your age cohort are as capable? I mean, I don't know if you're willing to share how much money you make, but you said you wanted to be provided for and taken care of. I do think it's going to be a challenge for most men in your age cohort.
And that's exactly why I'm single. And that's exactly why I'm taking care of myself.
Are you going to have to perhaps take another look at that preference of yours to be taken care of? Because, I mean, I assume you're used to a certain lifestyle, given that I'm assuming that you're successful with your OnlyFans, correct?
Yes.
You do fairly well.
Yes.
I assume you're making 5 figures a month at least.
Yes.
Mid 5 figures?
I don't want to get into it, but yeah, I'm comfortable.
Well, I mean, I think one thing you're going to run into is there's not a lot of men who are going to be able to match you financially,
Yeah.
given your success, because some of these OnlyFans girls can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Maybe $50,000. Maybe you're making $50,000 a month. Very few men are making that much money.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean there's not men out there.
Yeah, but that's
Well-
the thing. He can make less than me, but still make the effort. Put the effort in.
Yeah.
Like if you want to take me out to dinner, like I don't always have to, just because I make more money, that means that he's gonna be like, okay, you handle everything. No, like, here, I work for my money, and I wanna still take care of you, even though I know you have more than me.
Oh, we have a great clip on this, Nick. I think we have it. It's the one that Otto played. It's the TikTok video where it's the guy interviewing the couple. And this is super related to this. Can you try to find it, Nick? I think I have it pulled up. If I don't, I'll help you find it.
You just want a guy that spoils you once in a while.
Yeah, I guess when I say I want to be financially taken care of, I'm talking about like my husband. But like if I wasn't dating somebody, and I wouldn't expect them to pay for my rent if I was dating them. But
so if
I was married to them, I would love to live in the same house.
This is interesting to me. I want your guys' reaction to this. Go ahead, Nick.
How much money is in your guys' bank account?
I got like 1,200.
Like 70K? Yeah.
70K? What you mean 70K?
What do you mean? My dad gave it to me.
You made me pay for all this shit and you got 70K?
You're my boyfriend. Why wouldn't you pay for my things?
Well, I mean, if you got 70K, I mean, you should be paying for this.
Yeah, but usually the guy's supposed to pay for the things.
This is a serious problem. Like, I'm not even kidding. I paid for
What are
dinner.
you getting mad at me for?
That was $400.
You're supposed to pay for my shit.
You got 70K?
You're my boyfriend. You're supposed to pay for my shit.
Are you kidding me? Yo, dude, this is actually...
It's not my fault you're broke. How is that my fault?
We're done then.
What do you mean we're done?
We're done then.
If you're gonna fucking scream at me, then leave.
Okay, so in the interest of just being transparent, Erin whispered this under her breath. I'm fairly confident that's staged.
Yeah.
However, it could illustrate something that could actually happen in actuality, where a woman who, despite significant savings, she might still want a boyfriend to fall into this provider role, even if he doesn't have the level of savings that she has. And I've encountered this. For example, I remember once I was on a dating app. And this was when I was much younger. I matched with an attorney, and given how much money I was making at that point, it was almost certain that, given that she was an attorney, she was making more money than me. And I remember in her profile, in my conversations with her, she was like, "Well, even though I'm successful, I still want a guy to pay for all my, pay for dinners, pay for et cetera, be a provider." And I suppose that's your prerogative, but if you're a high earner as a woman, it occurs to me that you can probably fall into a more egalitarian approach.
Men want traditional gender roles, except when it comes to stuff like this, then all of a sudden they want egalitarianism. They're the biggest progressives in the world. They want her to be footing the bill and all that stuff, which I'm all for. But I feel like if you want the traditional gender roles and stuff like that, you want all the benefits but none of the responsibilities, and it's going to include doing stuff like that.
You can always reverse that too. Women, and I think it typically tends to be, I would argue, men are much more willing to fall into their traditional gender roles, even with women who are non-traditional, than there are men who want to reject their sort of traditional gender roles and still expect women to be traditional.
Yeah, but nothing's stopping them. They can start bucking those roles any day that they want.
Right, but it does occur to me that, for example, and to bring this almost full circle, all the women here were like, it should be cool to like send your boyfriend a photo of you fucking another guy, but I also want him to pay for my dinner.
Expectations. These are your expectations. I don't expect them to pay for everything or even for it to be like 50-50. I think it just
But you were arguing that it should be cool to send your boyfriend a video.
She was arguing that some guys would find it hot, not that you should do that.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us.
Well,
And I don't even think there's anything wrong if they dislike that. I was just saying that yes, you're
Some of them do
underestimating
find it
how many guys find that hot.
I'm not arguing. I agree with you so that some of them find it hot. We were arguing that would most.
Yeah, I still think most. And I still think most guys would. I honestly don't think most guys would be comfortable with the woman paying for like most dinners and stuff like that. You want to talk about like male fragility and insecurity? I think it would be on full
that'd
display.
be fucking gangster, dude.
It
Sign
would be,
me
but
up.
I don't think. I think you're the exception in there. I think most guys want to feel like they're the provider, and honestly, like finances would be a large insecurity if they felt like my girlfriend pays for all of my shit. I can't even say I pay for my own rent.
No, but if it like it depends on the framing of it. But like if your girlfriend was like a super simp and she was like trying to do all this shit, then that I think that still puts you. That's like super gangster, bruv.
Yeah. And then you're
It's
over here
pretty
laughing
cheap.
when she's like, simping is king shit, basically, but then you're talking about like what most guys would
Oh,
not
it's
feel
cool for
comfortable
girls to
with.
simp. I think it's good for girls to simp.
No, but she's saying it's like when men simp for her, it's king shit, basically.
It's what?
King shit.
It's king shit for guys to simp for women, which you disagree with. Obviously, you don't think it's
Oh, I
appropriate.
absolutely disagree that it's king shit.
Yeah, and I'm saying that you think it's delusional for her to say that. I think it's delusional for you to be like, God, it's so base when a woman pays for all this stuff for a guy.
But it's rare.
like most men
It's
won't be
different.
comfortable with that.
It's totally different though.
There's novelty, sure. It's rare.
But it's got to be within the frame of like, she's like doing it. She's doing it because she's like really fucking wants you.
I
I
think
don't know
most
about that.
guys would still feel uncomfortable because they view it as effeminate behavior.
Is this an L for me?
Can I
don't
say
know.
something? I don't
Go
any
ahead, Sophia.
relationship
So
works, right?
I was in the year relationship that I was talking about was with somebody that
Spencer,
basically
could you
was
grab me another water, please? Thank you, man.
he was basically like living off me, and that's the reason why I now value like, because before I didn't care. I was like, oh, I'm making a lot of this money, I love you, I want to take care of you, I want to help you get back on your feet so we could like do it together. And then I ended up just getting cheated on and lied to after basically simping for a man. And that's what I got, and that's why I have my values now, and that's why I feel like a man should take care of me, not like everything, but he should do something. And that's why I feel the way that I feel. It's personal, experience, I guess.
I feel like if there was a female attorney who went on a Red Pill podcast and was like, hell yeah, I love girl bossing it up. I have my attorney job. I love being independent. I don't need a man. But if I had a man, I'd pay for all his stuff naturally because I make more. I think they would be like, see, this is how feminism has ruined women and men because now women think they can take on these roles. That's for a man to do. They would actually be discouraging her from doing that.
Yeah.
And they would say, no, you're falling out, like, you're not bucking the line with these traditional gender roles, so they're
I
going to
actually
shit
love
on it.
spoiling my mans, especially if I know I make more money than him. I'm like, you keep your money. You don't have a lot of it. Let me take care of it. But then I also like the opposite. But I guess it just depends.
It depends how it's framed. Like if the guy is like a leech and the girl's paying for everything, that's obviously a bad frame to
No,
be
I wouldn't
in.
do that for
But
sure.
like if the girl's like so fucking into you that she's like, I want you so fucking bad, I will simp for you. That's when you win, I think.
That I think a man would feel completely emasculated to have to say, like, yeah, I let her pay for everything.
No,
They'd
not
be
at
like,
all.
bro, what? You don't think most dudes would be like, bro, what? You let your girl pay
I
for
let her.
everything?
I make her. No, I'm just kidding.
That's even worse.
See, that would be honestly the only alpha move is that she has to do it. I don't let her do anything else. Anything other than that, being like, yeah, I let her pay for everything. I think most men would be like, you should start paying
No, and
some of your own
again, like
bills, dude.
this is I think a scenario that would be very rare to actually encounter. For me personally, like I'm like this is not like the typical relationship dynamic that I would have. But if a girl came along and is like, Brian, I'm gonna fucking Findom. Bankrupt me, Brian.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But bro, you want to just give me an allowance? Okay, well, actually, no. I'm
Are you
walking
looking
that
for a
back.
sugar
I'm
mama?
walking it back.
Literally,
Wait,
a
Brian,
sugar baby.
do you want to be a sugar
So a
baby?
sugar baby. You want to be a sugar baby?
No,
Love right here.
I don't like that framing. I just
You
want.
don't you want it, but you don't like how it sounds.
Hold up.
That's it.
Hold up. There's a good way to frame this here.
Right.
Okay?
It's a framing issue. It's just an advertising issue. You got to figure out how to sell it.
I want a billionaire heiress to be so enamored that she's like, Brian, I'm just going to give you $10,000 every time I see you.
That's sugar mama with more.
Honestly,
extra
if they're
words.
a billionaire, that's actually literally nothing.
Okay, fine. I fucking
100K.
That's a lot.
You're worth it. 100K. Too bad there's only like
Sophia,
5
you're a
female billionaires.
successful woman. We should, you've had too much experience with these guys just paying you money. You should consider pursuing a new paradigm in dating. I'm prepared. My allowance is $7,000 a month.
What if she wants you to go down on her? Like, you
No,
can get
I'm
it.
sorry. It's not happening.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Why